Hello and welcome back to the podcast. It has been a while since I did an episode. I took a short break over summer in 2024, I think it was. And then somehow, no idea how, 18 months have passed and I haven't recorded anything. So we're back. We're back now, and that's all that matters. So we're back with a bit of a bang. Today I want to share something a little bit different with you. Something that's very, very close to my heart, because you might have seen I've recently announced that I will be running the first Eat Sleep Yoga teacher training course in September this year. So very excited. I've been getting a lot of questions about the training. I know some of you are a bit curious about the training, but also a bit unsure if the training is actually for you. So the podcast today then is going to be about the yoga teacher training. So I'm going to tell you a bit about my story, how I got here, why I created the course, and most importantly, actually, what the course could do for you. Even if teaching yoga, if becoming a yoga teacher isn't kind of in your plan right now. So this podcast isn't going to be a sales pitch. Really, this is just me sharing a bit more information about the course, sharing why this course exists, who it's for, how it could change not just your yoga practice, but the way that you move through life. It really completely changes the trajectory of my life. And I'd imagine other yoga teachers that you speak to as well. And it could hopefully change yours as well. So many of you know my yoga story already, but I started yoga on a bit of a whim because my friend said we should go. And I just instantly fell in love with it. It really helped calm my social anxiety down. It helped me learn how to manage my stress better. And at the start, it was a form of exercise for me, something that I was never really into. I was never really into going to the gym or fitness classes or anything like that. So at the start, it definitely was a form of exercise for me. But the only problem was that I struggled to fit in to the classes and the studios that I went to. So they were all super welcoming, everyone was super lovely, but I felt really intimidated to go, mainly because I didn't look like other people in the class. So I wasn't as flexible, I wasn't as strong, maybe didn't have what I thought was like the right gear, sort of leggings, matching tops. I was wearing a top I'd had for years and, leggings that had gone baggy around the knees. And this feeling of not fitting in really very nearly cost me my yoga journey. So there were definitely times when I was stood outside a class or a studio wondering if I should just go home and sit on the sofa instead, or even if I deserved to be in that class. But luckily, thankfully, something kept me coming back, and I'm just so glad I did. I wouldn't be sat here now teaching yoga for nearly 12 years, running retreats, talking on a podcast. So after a few years practicing, I trained to be a yoga teacher. And really, even on that course, I questioned if I was in the right place, because I didn't really fit in with the sporty fitness types who were there to teach yoga, probably in gyms and very much more kind of into how things looked. And I also didn't sit particularly well with the very spiritual types either. So I was just someone who loved how yoga made me feel and wanted to share that with others in a way that meant that they never felt intimidated or unworthy of being in a class. And that was back in 2014. So fast forward then to 2025, so last year, I was starting to write a CPD course for yoga teachers who had already taken their certification, but they wanted to learn something new, to bring something new to their classes. So that's where I was thinking I was going to teach yoga teachers who were already teaching. So I started creating the course, thinking it would be a 50-hour training. But then once I started writing and researching, I realised I just had way too much to say to fit in to the 50 hours. So the idea of creating a 200-hour yoga teacher training was born. Which is funny because, I don't know, 2 years ago, maybe even this time last year, I was asked if I would do a teacher training course. And at that point, it just was not on my radar. I was just not ready to run one. But I've really been working on my self-confidence, my inner confidence over the past year. And I really think this has helped me to step out of my comfort zone and commit to something and do something new. So the idea of the course came from what has led me to teach the past 12 years, making real women with real bodies and real lives feel like they can do yoga without feeling intimidated. And I wanted to create a course that is for those of you who love yoga, but maybe feel like you can't explore it, or that it's out of reach. Maybe because you're busy juggling your career, your life, maybe you've got children, all the plates are spinning. Or maybe it's because, like me, you also feel like you don't fit that kind of yoga teacher mold. And I really wanted to create a course that changes the narrative. So one that creates a really welcoming, inclusive and accessible environment where everyone feels equal, and everyone has the opportunity to feel good in a yoga class, regardless of, their body shape, their flexibility, their age, what they're wearing. Like, it shouldn't be an issue at all. It should be equal opportunity for everyone to be able to get to a yoga class and feel good about themselves. So thinking back to my own yoga teacher training course, we would train in the day, so very much similar to all the courses really. We train all day, and then at night we would go off to separate hotels, B&Bs. Some people local would go home afterwards. So I spent a large amount of this course sat in hotel rooms on my own, mostly eating like a Tesco meal deal sandwich, really nothing very exciting. And as the course went on, I made friends. We would then share rooms, we'd book the same hotels, that kind of thing. So the evenings were loads less lonely. But this is one of the reasons why I wanted to add in-person overnight elements to my teacher training course, because I didn't want people to just train all day and then go home, and straight back into normal life, busy again, and it just feeling quite overwhelming. I really wanted them to come on the course, train all day and then relax and then carry on those conversations in an informal way. And for me, I think a lot of teacher training courses miss this bit out. So being able to practice yoga off the mat and integrate this into real life is a huge part of what I teach. It's a huge thing for me. And these evenings spent chatting with others on the course will be a huge part of this. Now, of course, it's completely voluntary. You don't have to stay up and sit around. We will be sharing an evening meal together. But of course you can go off, and if you need some time on your own, then that is obviously perfectly fine as well. Now, this course will teach you not only how to teach a yoga class, but how to get your students to feel good in the poses and also how to feel good about themselves. So if you just think about the transformation that you've already gone through with yoga, you're going to be able to facilitate this in others too. So you're going to learn how to be able to make this happen in others. And I cannot tell you how amazing that feels when you see that transformation happening in your students. It's just amazing. It's such an amazing, amazing feeling, and one that I think a lot of teachers would say is the same thing. It's just great. And if you're wondering then if you actually want to be a yoga teacher, I was the same as well. I took my training course without any real plans of what I was going to do after. All I knew was that I didn't like my current job. I wanted to leave my current job. I wanted to do something super fulfilling. I wanted to do something that I loved. And I wanted to do something that benefited others too. And that's how the kind of yoga career came about. But even if you decide not to teach, so even if teaching isn't in your plan, you'll find your self-confidence will have a big boost knowing that you can share yoga with others. And obviously your own practice will deepen too, because you'll learn so much more than we can cover in our weekly classes. It's like night and day. When we start to really deep dive into yoga, you'll realise how little we can actually get in on the 60-minute classes. And this knowledge then will spill out of your life, or spill out of your life on the mat, into your life off the mat too. And you'll find yourself much more grounded, much more present, a lot more aligned in your personal and your professional life as well. And of course, you'll find that you develop a huge toolkit to help with your own life problems, and loads of self-care practices that go way beyond practicing on the mat. So it's not just about helping others. You'll find the course is a massive help to you personally as well. And yoga is such a massive subject that this course doesn't mean that you have to teach yoga. You'll find that as you start moving in those yoga circles, so many more opportunities open up for you. Things maybe that you didn't realise were available to you before. So you could go down the same route as me. You could run classes, workshops, retreats, courses, all that kind of thing. Or maybe you want to run like an online series to help your colleagues. You could start your own wellbeing events. You could go on and do further training in yoga therapy, postnatal yoga. Like, honestly, it's so vast. It's just huge, unbelievably huge until you get into this world. So you aren't just putting yourself in like a yoga teacher box here. It really will open up so many opportunities, and some that could even, completely change your life. I am living proof of that, I was tied to a desk and I hated it, and I was covered in eczema and stressed out, and then, took the leap and have never looked back. Like, it's just such a complete life change for me, and it can be for you as well. And being part of a cohort actually with similar goals is really fantastic too. So if you've ever taken another course, not just a work course, but something where there's other people there with similar goals, it's just so lovely. And I'm still so close to some of the women who took the same course as me nearly 12 years ago. And it's still great to catch up with them and kind of bounce ideas off each other, because they're in exactly the same boat that I am. And I think friendships made on yoga teacher training courses really do last for life. Like, all the courses I've been on for different training things over the years, I'm still in touch with people from those courses. So definitely a really great way of meeting new people. Now, throughout the course, then you'll get one-to-one sessions with me, so we can go through anything you want to talk about or need help with. So whether that's help with a topic that we're studying, or it might be help with your mindset, whatever you need, we can do it together to help you to stay on track. And again, I didn't get that in my yoga teacher training. It was very much group based, and sometimes I probably needed a little bit more one-to-one, so that's why I've added that into mine. And if you didn't see the announcement the other day, Dr. Yogi, so Andrew McGonigal, will be leading the anatomy and physiology module. So if you don't follow Andrew, I'd go and follow him on social media now. He trained as a medic in the UK before realising that life just wasn't for him, and he eventually became a yoga teacher and an anatomy trainer. And his approach really aligns with everything that I like about the anatomy. It's science-based, but it's fun and it's super inclusive, and it's something that you can apply to real life in your yoga classes. So it's not super heavy, but it's super useful. And this module will be online, but you will have the opportunity to meet Andrew every 5 weeks for a live group Q&A session. Just to help you keep on track with anything there. And also I'll be sharing everything that I've learned over the past 12 years about running a successful yoga business. So again, this was something that was lacking from my own training, and something that I see left out of a lot of other yoga trainings actually. And we get taught how to teach a yoga class, but we don't get taught how to run a business. And I think that's where a lot of yoga teachers struggle. So they have this passion to teach, but they don't have the business skills to back it up. You know, they have the confidence to stand in front of a class full of people and guide them through 60 minutes of yoga, but struggle to know, you know, what to post on social media. So we'll be covering this on the course and also in the final immersion retreat. So that is in February, where you will graduate from the course and you will get hands-on experience of how to run a successful retreat as well. And you'll learn how to confidently market and sell your offerings. As soon as you've got your certification, you'll be able to go off into the wide world and start sharing the yoga love there. So I know that you're busy, and maybe you're thinking that you don't have time to join the course this year, but that's exactly why I designed the course to fit into your life. So my own training, I did around a full-time job. None of it was online. It was way before kind of online learning was everywhere. So I would work Monday to Friday, and then I would get the train up to Manchester, be there all weekend, get the train back down, and then go to work on a Monday morning. So if I can do the whole thing in person with a full-time job, you definitely can do it too, hybrid, online and in person. And each module then can be done in any order on this course. So that you can fit it into your schedule. And this is another thing that I feel really strongly about, is that if you've only got 30 minutes, say, just choose the module you fancy doing today, and it's 30 minutes long. If you have longer time available, then you do one of the longer modules instead. I wanted to make this course super flexible so that it fits into your life, rather than you having to do a massive overhaul to fit it in. I wanted it to really fit around real life at the minute without feeling overwhelming. And so you'll be able to choose your modules as long as they all get done. Then you can choose them in any order. So how it works, you'll have time throughout the course to do the online modules in your own schedule, and then we'll meet regularly online to practice together and cover some of the topics. And then you've got 2 in-person training weekends. So they are the spa weekends. So we'll have 2 full days of training, all your food, your accommodation, evening meal, all that kind of thing is included. And then we'll go to the final immersion retreat, where you'll get teaching experience. We'll get real-time feedback on what you're doing. You'll get retreat experience, business experience, and then you'll graduate. If you've passed all your other modules, this is the graduation retreat. So one last hurrah together before we move off and you start moving into teaching your own classes. And the live sessions then, online and in person, will bring together everything that you're learning on the course. And you'll be able to ask questions you might have. And also it's just a really great way of learning from others. So we'll be learning together, particularly in the in-person stuff. We'll be doing a lot of work together on that one. And there's also no end date on this course. So like I say, as long as you complete all the training, you'll get your certification once that's completed. So there's no pressure to finish on a certain date. Unless, so I know some people work the other way, unless that's how your brain works and you like a deadline, then maybe you could think about getting all your things. Ooh, my Siri's talking to me. There we go. So yeah, if you like a deadline, then do it for the graduation thing. And assessment wise, then you'll have to complete a little task or a quiz at the end of each module you do. You'll have to pass the anatomy part of the course with Andrew, and then the final assessment is a teaching assessment. So you'll teach a class and I'll assess you doing that. But throughout the course you'll get loads of hands-on teaching practice, so with other people on the course, but also you'll be teaching community classes within our Eat Sleep Yoga community. So you'll get loads of chance to gain your confidence, use your newly found skills by teaching my community already, and they're all very excited to be taught by some new teachers, not just by me all the time. So you'll get loads of experiences, loads and loads of hands-on experience in this course. And maybe the investment is a big block for you signing up, and I totally understand. I totally understand this. I remember when I signed up for my training, that kind of nervous excitement, like it was probably the biggest amount I've ever spent on myself before, probably still is. But I looked at it as an investment in myself. So I invested in my own confidence, I invested in my own well-being. It was nice to do something for myself, like something that I wanted to do. I upgraded my skills, and really, honestly, for me, it was the best thing I've ever spent on myself, because it's not just a weekend and then you're done. Like, that transformation is lifelong. And even if, like I say, you don't want to teach straight away, you can come back to it in 5 years, 10 years, whenever you've got your certification. You know, that's where you can still teach then. And maybe you've been to classes where you feel like you don't fit in or have felt intimidated, and that's making you question if you're good enough or experienced enough to join the course. But honestly, you're exactly the type of person I created this course for. So you don't need to be like a super advanced yogi to join. I mean, what even is an advanced yogi? You know, what does that mean? But you don't need to be super advanced. All that I ask for is that you're open and you're willing to learn new things, and you're willing to learn new things about yourself. You have the right intentions in your heart to spread that yoga love as far and as wide as possible, and to as many people as need it. You know, it's a real thing that's needed in the world right now, and more people need it. And more people need more yoga teachers like you. So not the ones who make standing on their head look super easy, or the ones that can do a whole yoga session without looking sweaty. Like, they're amazing, but the world is still crying out for more real life yoga teachers. So real life yoga teachers with real life lived experiences, who can make real life people feel the best that they can. And honestly, I honestly don't know anyone who wouldn't want to help people feel like that. Like, it's just such an amazing thing to be able to give to someone, and for that transformation to run through their life as well. Like, it doesn't just happen for 60 minutes every week when they come to class. It happens and it carries on throughout their life. And I know that change can feel super scary, you know, it's anxiety inducing, but change is where the magic happens, and it can feel really exciting. Like, I'm here now. I'm kind of just a little bit further on than you. Like, I've never done a yoga teacher training before. It's scary and exciting at the same time, you know, for me as well. So I'm feeling exactly the same things you are. But this course is here to create a safe space for you to explore and to learn. and to expand really with guidance from me and support and encouragement every step of the way from your peers and from the Eat Sleep Yoga community, from Andrew as well, teaching the anatomy. So if you have been curious about stepping into a deeper yoga practice or thinking about exploring teaching, I would love for you to join us. So this isn't just about teaching perfect, aesthetically pleasing poses. It's not about being the most flexible person in the room. It's about helping people feel good in their own bodies and their own lives, and discovering what's possible when you give yourself permission to step fully into your potential. Now, our next teacher training then begins in September, and early bird enrolment is open until June. If you are on my mailing list, you will have received a discount which is only available until the end of March. So book now if you want to use that discount. We've got less than 10 days left on that, I think, now. And before we finish then, I'd just like you to take a moment to really think about what it would feel like to give yourself permission to explore this path a little bit deeper. So how might your life feel a year from now? You're a trained yoga teacher. You've been teaching for a month now. What does life feel like? How might life look? So I'd love to see you there, obviously. I'd love to be able to support you in your journey. I'd love to watch you grow into your full confidence as a practitioner, first of all, and maybe, perhaps, even as a teacher, if that's where you want to go with it. But for more information, then take a look at the teacher training page on my website. I'll put a link in the show notes. Or you can email me and I'm happy to chat more about it with you. Or if you want more of a conversation, we can Zoom or chat on the phone. If that's what works best for you as well, just let me know. But yeah, thank you for being here. Welcome back to the podcast. I am going to try and make this more of a thing again. And hopefully I'll see you on the course then in September.